I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
If you want to work until you keel over, have less of everything in retirement, or give back more of your hard-earned money to the stock market again, then just ignore me. But if you'd like to protect the money you save, receive a steady, predictable retirement income, and enjoy financial security for as long as you live, then listen to this. You can download a free report that reveals the wealth-building secrets Wall Street and the banks don't want you to know. You'll learn how you can get guaranteed growth, safety, and real prosperity without risking your money in the Wall Street casino, and how to get the money you need when you need it, simply by asking for it. This is the best way to have a 100% secure retirement, and know your money will last as long as you do. To learn more about this method, and to get your free report, go to 52security.com. That's the number 52security.com. 52security.com. Go to 52security.com.
Hurt or injured in a car accident? It can be hard to take the proper legal action after a car accident, but waiting can cost you more. The law requires car accident victims to assert claims promptly. You could lose out by simply waiting. Call 800-709-4667 right now to see what your claim could be worth when handled by a skilled attorney. With a lawyer fighting and speaking up for you, you could be entitled to a big cash award. Call 800-709-4667. That's 800-709-4667. Now it's fast and easy to connect with the legal help you need after your car accident. Call 800-709-4667. The call is free, but you need to act now before time runs out on your claim. You need a lawyer to fight for you, protect you, and get you the compensation you need and deserve. Time's wasting. Call 800-709-4667. That's 800-709-4667. Call now.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please, call or go online right now.
The following letters were written by our troops.
My dear fellow Americans, I truly appreciate your support. I was starting to wonder if people had forgotten about us over here. But then one of my buddies showed me this website, and now as tears are streaming down my face, I can see for sure that you haven't. Private Emily B., U.S. Army.
It's so heartwarming to see the American people not letting the men and women of the armed forces be forgotten. Your letters make a group of grown men, battle-hardened and gruff, act like a bunch of kids around a Christmas tree. Thanks. Staff Sergeant Matthew H., U.S. Army.
Your support may be the most important thing our troops can carry with them. But don't take our word for it. Take theirs. To show your support, visit americasupportsyou.mil. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Defense and the Ad Council.
Millions of Americans every day are shedding unwanted pounds by taking tested and proven Ultra Lipo Stick. Carbohydrates are bad. Our carbo-fighting antioxidant is good. Just listen to these satisfied customers.
My name is Gail, and I lost like 20 pounds on Ultra Lipo Stick.
My name is Jared, and I lost 46 pounds using Ultra Lipo Stick.
My name is Zach, and I actually gained weight. This stuff sucks!
Ultra Lipo Stick is safe and easy to inject. Just 3 doses 4 times a day discreetly underneath your fingernail. Listen to this.
I used Ultra Lipo Stick and suffered from side effects like uncontrollable greasy discharge.
Ultra Lipo Stick, it turned the armpits of all of my shirts orange. This stuff is crap.
Try it today and see some real results. Ultra Lipo Stick. Not available in stores. Results may vary.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
most politically incorrect black man on the planet, Rod Eccles.
Well, hello, my fellow Americans. It is I, your lovable host, L. Rod, coming to you live from my bunkerized home studio somewhere within the great Granite State of New Hampshire, where the state motto is still live free or die. It is not big government or bust. And I know this because I checked again today, as I do almost every day, and it hasn't changed yet. It is Thursday, as they say, down in New York. June the 25th in the year of our Lord 2015, as we begin to slide on into the weekend. Yesterday, look, folks, I know everybody's chomping at the bit about the SCOTUS ruling on Obamacare. Trust me, I will delve into that. I will get into that. And let me just say this. It is not time to panic. I was listening to some people today, and they were just all over the place, acting like they were panicking. We've lost the nation. Oh, my, everything's over. It's all done. No, just sit back, relax. It is not time to panic. I will tell you when it's time to panic. Because if I tell you it's time to panic, you know it's really time to panic. But we're not near that yet. So we'll get into that. So sit back and relax. Yesterday, I was down in Connecticut, and I was, it wasn't really an interview. I was invited to be, I just had their information, and they have a radio show and a TV show. And, now I gotta tell you, the engineer, his name is Jeff. He was a cute kid. And I mean, he's early 20 something, maybe 22, 23, but typical. But anyway, he kind of reminded me of Alex P. Keaton, that character, but in today's stand, with the baseball hat instead of the tie. But that's what he looked like. He looked like a younger, Michael J. Fox. He really did. He looked like a young Michael J. Fox. He, very kind of not a very outgoing type of person or kid, kind of a little bit on the mousy side, but he was cute. He had a cute personality. But it's amazing how just the other day I was talking about how the millennials, we may have lost that generation. Now, here's a kid who's, right in there with the millennials, who understands conservatism. And he's fully in there supporting it and being the engineer and everything for this program. But he fully understands, conservatism and constitutionalism. And it gave me hope that maybe we haven't totally lost the millennials. And simply just by, talking to this one young man. And one of the people that I was doing the program with that invited me down, her name is Daria. She invited me back to her house after the taping of the television show. And, for a barbecue, and where I got to meet her son, who happens to be, I guess, sort of quasi-genius, because the kid is 18 or 19 years old, and he's already a second semester junior in college. So it means he started early. But he really is trying to become a rocket scientist. He's talking about NASA, and we were talking about NASA space exploration. We were talking about the potential for human beings in the future and human medicine and everything, and basically in space travel and the effects in the human body. Now, I got to admit, a lot of that discussion kind of went over my head because I'm not a rocket scientist, but it was kind of interesting to see him light up about these different subjects that we were talking about as it pertained to all that stuff. We even got into DNA discussion and even threw in, a bunch of Star Trek stuff. But again, another young man, another young person, who was really thinking more along the lines of being a conservative and not looking for government handouts and thinking and looking and saying, we've got a lot. There's a lot that's happening, with NASA and the space programs, and the private space programs and the government space programs, and we're going to bring in, because we need private industry to really make all of this stuff flourish. That's not a democratic ideal, by the way. That's a conservative ideal. So here's a kid who's 19 years old who gets it. Again, a millennial. So, in one day, I get two millennials who give me back faith that we haven't totally and completely lost that generation. They understand it, and they get it. If you want to give me a call this evening, you can still do that. The number is toll-free 603-835-3224. And as I say that, I do have a caller on the line. Let's bring in 802. What is on your mind? You're on the Rod Eccles Show.
Hey, Rod. How you doing?
Hi. Who am I speaking with?
This is Ed Gilbert.
Oh, hi, Ed. How are you?
Very good, Rod. How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Just wanted to give you an update on what's going on up here in Vermont. You and
the
I
land
have
of Bernie Sanders, by the way, for all of you, those of you in Rush Limbaugh's Rio Linda who don't know where Vermont is. It's right next door to New Hampshire.
That's correct. That's correct. Kind of the sister state, but on kind of a different political scale, depending how you look at it. Just wanted to give you an update. The Green Mountain Republicans website has been launched. Plus, I'd like to give you a personal invite to some of the upcoming events coming at the University of Vermont, Norwich University, and at Dartmouth College that we're about ready to make some announcements for here in the very near future.
Oh, wow. I would be honored. Dartmouth College, that's not exactly a conservative bastion of intellectual thought. I would love to go up there.
Well, I hope so, Rod. We got, I know up at the University of Vermont, things are getting firmed up now, but Jeb Bush is supposed to be coming up to the campus to visit. We got a couple events going on that are still in the works at Norwich University, and we're getting a few candidates to come up at Dartmouth College to hopefully give a candidate forum introduction to the student body up there and get a chance to really, shake hands, really meet the candidates, and ask them the questions directly.
That would be awesome. That'd be great. I really appreciate that. Yes, would love to.
Well, it's an invite, Rod. I'm kind of hoping that you're going to come to these events that we have, and have an opportunity to interview the candidates yourself.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure they want me to interview them, but because I would probably ask them really tough questions that they don't want to have to answer right now. But I would still do that. And you know what?
Well,
we could probably
listen, Rod. Other than Hillary Clinton, who's avoiding the hard questions, listen, I got a feeling most of the candidates are going to be willing to stand up and address the questions that you're willing to fire at them.
Are you saying Hillary won't be there?
You know what? I have nothing to do with Hillary Rodham Clinton's schedule, and probably knowing the posts that I've posted, trying to, ask some strong questions myself, I cannot guarantee Hillary Rodham Clinton's appearance whatsoever.
Oh, that's too bad. I would love to actually be able to sit down with that, or just stand up with that woman, because she'd probably be wanting to run away when she here's me talking to her. I ain't no ways tired.
Well, she's already banned Fox News, so we'll have to see how if that ends up hurting her down the campaign trail, or if it ends up helping her. I really doubt it's gonna help her in any way, but
I can see it now. Yes, I want to ban that Fox News, and I want to ban that Confederate flag, and I want to ban that Rod Eccles.
Well, you know what? Listen. You bring up a great point. I mean, their campaign pin, the Clinton Gore, the '92 campaign pin that recently came out. I never knew that they had a campaign pin designed with the Confederate flag as one of their campaign slogans.
They have all kinds of Confederate types of. Well, let's face it. Billy Boy is. He's a good old boy from down south. Arkansas. You don't get to be Arkansas governor by. As many times as he was reelected, as many times as he was down there by dissing the Confederate battle flag. They fully embrace it, which is kind of hypocritical of them now, in my book. And you know what? I don't think a lot of blacks, a lot of African Americans are buying it this time from her.
I hope not, Rod. I hope not.
There's just too much evidence of them using it before and being proud of it. It is just way too much.
It like you said, I mean, it was a historical flag during the Civil War. It represented the Confederate Army. It represented, a lot of the anti-abolishment movement of the South at the time. What's scary is the fact that a lot of American history, as much as many people feel that they know their history, they tend to misuse it or misrepresent it when it benefits them in a political forum. But I feel, listen, if anything, it's definitely the voters of the South need to address it. And I mean, every single registered American voter down there. Anything, I feel it's rather offensive as well. Although from a historical point of view, if anything, it should be taken down from the Capitol buildings or whatever and put into a, historical museum represented in a Civil War learning, environment.
It should not be. It should not be flying above state capitals. You're absolutely. It shouldn't be in government. Look, this is a flag that represents a defeated rebellion, a defeated country, if you will. I've never seen any government fly the flag of a defeated and vanquished foe before. So it needs to go from that. But as far as banning it, so everybody, why don't you, if you're going to do that, if you're going to ban the rebel flag, then I think it's time that you also start banning the swastika and the Nazi flag. You start banning the old Soviet Union flag, the CCCP. You ban the Chavez, all the Chavez products with his picture, nothing but communism, basically, is all he's all about. Why are we targeting just this particular flag? Well, it has some political expediency because of good old Rahm Emanuel. Never let a good tragedy go to waste, basically. And I'm even though I know what the flag stands for, that flag stands for, and what it means, I also know what's behind them. And today, you know, one of the things that Rush said a couple of days ago about them going after the rebel flag, that this is just the beginning, that they would be going after the U.S. flag next. And today, there it is. Louis Farrakhan is out there saying we got to bring down the United States flag because it's a flag of oppression as well. And look, this is not about the Confederate flag. This is not about the Confederate States. This is not about the Civil War. This is not about this kid walking into a black church and shooting dead 9 people. This is all about liberals advancing their mantra on how bad this country is.
Well, you know, Rod, that is an outstanding point. And as much as they love to beat up on this country, you know, it is a young 239-year-old democracy. Many of the, like you said, the swastika, whether it's the Soviet Union flag and sickle of communism. I mean, Vladimir Putin himself seems like he's trying to go back to a Soviet Union 2.0, being a former KGB agent who, you know, was right in the heart and soul of Perestroika, Boris Yeltsin, Gorbachev. You know, a lot of people, they tend to forget these historical events. They tend to forget the people who helped the Soviet people at the time. It was several $billions of, you know, American taxpayer money to keep that country afloat for a while they worked things out. I mean, as bad as everybody loves to try to trash America, at least the one thing that we do learn from is history. And I'm not saying we're perfect. We're still an evolving democracy. But the American flag, the moment that flag comes down and, you know, they start trying to trash that and remove that from any piece of American soil, the folks that are trying to remove it, I want them to give back all the American currency that they have stashed away in their banks and their retirement funds as well. So.
Yeah, I'm sure Louis Farrakhan is being paid with U.S. dollars and not, you know, rubles or something. But
yeah, I don't think he's definitely not accepting rubles these days. That's for sure.
But you bring up a good point. I think it's quite amazing. You know, they say how much they hate America, but you know, they obviously bask in all that it has to offer. I don't see them volunteering to go anywhere else. Not even the Canada. Hey, if you don't like the U.S., you don't got to go far. Just go to Mexico or Canada. Oh, I'm sorry, you don't want to go to Mexico because you might get, you know, killed down there. But Canada's safe. They'd probably welcome you. You know, they've been trying to boost their population because they're on a negative population slide with 33 million and going south. You know, Canada wants to boost their population, so go up there. If you don't like the United States, there's lots of room.
I agree. I agree. I agree, Rod. A lot of people take for granted what the freedoms and the protections and what was paid for in blood by many of their own ancestors for that American flag to fly on the freest country of the planet. As many people as they try to trash this country, they were lucky to be born, raised, had that opportunity to express themselves freely, openly. I wish they would probably think a little bit before they speak, but a lot of the folks that do that really do not know their history, really do not know they're living off of the past hates, the past divides in one way, shape, or form.
Yeah,
a lot of times, too, it definitely identifies the insecurities that they're still trying to address to this day. But
yeah,
that's the way it works
we
sometimes.
are by far not a perfect country. Our Constitution and our Declaration of Independence basically states, that we're trying to form a more perfect union, meaning that we're supposed to progress to a more perfect kind of governance in country, and we're not going in the right direction as we are right now. But yeah, our founding fathers knew that there is no such thing as a perfect nation or a perfect government because it's all created and run by man. There's going to be problems. We've made mistakes as a nation in our history, and a lot of those mistakes we've owned up to. A lot of those mistakes maybe we're not owning up to for one reason or another. But this whole notion about the human rights and slavery and all this kind of stuff, and we continue to have. I was talking to Dr. Alveda King. She happens to be the niece of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And I asked her basically about Dr. King's vision, and his dream. I have a dream that we're going to be a colorless nation one day. I asked her if we're closer to his dream or farther from his dream, and she said we're close. We're very close. So the whole notion, it basically is that we have certain people out there on the left that want to continue and foist this idea that we're a racist nation because it serves their back pocket. It serves their wallet. It serves their ability to stay in power. Plain and simple.
I agree.
They're trying to divide us.
You're right.
Let's face it. You cannot tell me that we're not closer. We've got an African American. Well, not African American. Well, we've got a half black president.
Listen. That was a huge milestone for our country as a whole. I feel President Obama, although I don't agree with all of his policies or some of the directions that he's taking this country, and I definitely disagree with his foreign policy in the Middle East at this point. However, he is still my president. I will still, fight for the democracy that I was brought up believing into, that I fought for in the U.S. Naval Submarine Service as a U.S. Navy diver, even in the 3rd and 124th IO Battalion at Norwich University. I'll always protect my president. However, I will also only support the policies that I feel are in the best interest of the American taxpayers, the American voters, and that protect our best interests. I mean, that's with every red, white, and blue. I want to be able to live the American dream like anybody else, and I want my children to live it, and I want them to have that same passion and opportunity for both my 2 sons and my daughter. I want her to have the same exact opportunities that everybody else gets to dream about and try to build their own piece of the American slice of pie, their own American dream, whether it's building a corporation or a company, whatever it is. I want them to be able to at least pursue those dreams and live in a free society that they're able to express themselves without being herded up, taken to some back portion of the woods, and disposed of because they're not agreed with politically.
I too want every day to be the 4th of July in this country. It's I can't help it. I love the United States of America. I do. I'll admit it. I'm not going to hide it. It is a grand country. I think, I might be a little biased, but I think it is the greatest country that has ever graced the face of this planet. And historically speaking, I don't think there's ever been anything created that has been better. Where so many people, it doesn't matter what your class is, what your social strata is. When you're in the United States, you have the opportunity to work as hard and as smart as you want to change your socioeconomic standing. You don't necessarily have that opportunity in too many other nations. Whatever class or socioeconomic class that you were born in is probably the class that you're going to die in. That doesn't have to be the case in the United States of America. You can make your own way. You can go from the bottom to the top, but you also can. That also means you can go from the top to the bottom. But it's your choice, and that's where government can't make that decision for you. I know we have people out there that think that they can because they say, everybody who makes it, that smart kid who went to college or learned computer programming and built something called Facebook. Well, he's the winner of life's lottery. He didn't build that. I don't know. I would like somebody to tell that to Mark Zuckerberg. Hey, Zucky, you didn't build that.
Well, Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates. There's several entrepreneurs that have come from dirt poverty who have built their dreams, who are multimillionaires, several multi-billionaires these days. And like you said, I would love to see someone in Beijing, China, rip down their flag and stomp all over it in front of their government and have the kind of freedoms and protections that, because I was off the coast of China when Tiananmen Square went down, serving on the USS Hawkbill, and we got to pull into Hong Kong less than a week or so after that event.
I'm sorry, I have to cut you off right there. I've got a hard break coming up.
All right, hey, Rod, listen, I appreciate it. It was great talking to you. Look for those invites. We'll be in touch. I would love to have you come up to the University of Vermont, Norris University, and up at Dartmouth College for some of the events. I would definitely love to. Talk to you soon. Hey, have a great evening, and thanks for letting me on your show. Sure thing. We'll be right back, folks.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. Call InventHelp today.
To get your free inventor's information, call 1-800-352-1609. That's 1-800-352-1609.
If you want to work until you keel over, have less of everything in retirement, or give back more of your hard-earned money to the stock market again, then just ignore me. But if you'd like to protect the money you save, receive a steady, predictable retirement income, and enjoy financial security for as long as you live, then listen to this. You can download a free report that reveals the wealth-building secrets Wall Street and the banks don't want you to know. You'll learn how you can get guaranteed growth, safety, and real prosperity without risking your money in the Wall Street casino, and how to get the money you need when you need it, simply by asking for it. This is the best way to have a 100% secure retirement and know your money will last as long as you do. To learn more about this method and to get your free report, go to 52security.com. That's the number 52security.com. 52security.com. Go to 52security.com.
Hurt or injured in a car accident? It can be hard to take the proper legal action after a car accident, but waiting can cost you more. The law requires car accident victims to assert claims promptly. You could lose out by simply waiting. Call 800-709-4667 right now to see what your claim could be worth when handled by a skilled attorney. With a lawyer fighting and speaking up for you, you could be entitled to a big cash award. Call 800-709-4667. That's 800-709-4667. Now it's fast and easy to connect with the legal help you need after your car accident. Call 800-709-4667. The call is free, but you need to act now before time runs out on your claim. You need a lawyer to fight for you, protect you, and get you the compensation you need and deserve. Time's wasting. Call 800-709-4667. That's 800-709-4667. Call now.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please call or go online right now.
You shouldn't have to pay to talk to the people closest to you, or the people who used to be. That's why Umbrella Wireless is proud to announce the new Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan. Now you'll get unlimited calls to your best buddy, your mom, or Cindy, once she realizes that you're seriously meant for each other and should stop screening your calls. Now the 30 minutes of agonizing silence where you're both afraid to hang up may drain your battery, but it won't drain your wallet. And you'll get unlimited calls just to check if she still cares enough to pick up. with no extra charges. With the Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan, your phone will automatically answer calls from your ex, because maybe she finally realizes that you're the only one for her and wants to get coffee sometime. Now, after lonely nights of looking at pictures of the road trip you took together when everything was great, your misspelled texts are absolutely free. The only thing you have to pay for is the booze. The Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan, because she wants you back. She just doesn't know it yet.
You're listening to The Rod Eccles Show.
Welcome back, my fellow Americans. It is still I who am your lovable host here on The Rod Eccles Show. Hey, the Supreme Court upholds Obamacare subsidies. Now, I can hear the collective conservative sighing out there. And look, I was kind of buttressing people into understanding that this is the way. It could have gone one of two ways. Now, it could have gone where Justice Roberts was going to try to redeem himself for the pathetic, pitiful way that he allowed Obamacare to come into law in the first place. Or, which was more likely the case, he was going to reaffirm that he was correct in his previous judgment, and that he was going to allow this to stand. Now, I got to tell you, looking at, reading the opinion of these of the justices, I do not understand the logic. Yeah, you can sort of understand the intent, but look, the people who crafted the law, the people who know more about this law than anybody, people who wrote parts of the law, who debated parts of the law, they're the ones saying this is not right. Should not be legal. It is specifically clear on these exchanges what must happen. And the reason why they did it that way is to try to force the states into capitulating. Instead, some of the states, a lot of the states got bold and said, no, we're not going to follow through on this. And you can't make us. And so they decided, well, we're just going to go ahead and do it ourselves. But that's not what the law says. And somehow, the justices on the Supreme Court, 6 of them have decided, well, government can do whatever it damn well pleases. Because it is the intent. It isn't, what the law says. It's the intent. Now, I'm sorry, but there is no intent there because the law was pretty specific about what their intent was. It was tried to rope most of the the majority of the states into having an exchange system so that the federal government wouldn't have to pay for it. So they could claim that it's, saving all this kinds of money because, it wouldn't show up on federal books. That was the intent. But instead, the states thumbed their nose up at the Fed and said, we're not doing it because we're not putting this debt on our books. You handle it. Oh, wait, you can't because it's not the way you wrote the law. But instead of following the law, they decided that they were going to break the law and say, well, we intended it for the law to be this way. And so now 6 justices said, well, yeah, they intended it to be this way. So now the precedent has been set that the government doesn't actually have to follow the letter of the law. Now, folks, I can't tell you how dangerous that is. The federal government now doesn't have to follow the letter of the law. They can follow the intent of the law. And who's going to determine what the intent is? Well, the person who's pressing the law at that particular point in time is going to determine what the intent is. And because they're doing it with the intent, well, they have precedent saying, we can do this. The Supreme Court said so. But more importantly, I know what they were thinking is, well, geez, we have, about 6.5 million people who are receiving. You know what I can't stand? I cannot stand this phony fake number from the left talking about how many additional insured people there are on Obamacare. First of all, there's, the latest number I heard is nearly 17 million. First of all, that's a lie. Well, it's not nearly 17 million people new insured. You're talking a big bulk of that used to be insured in the private sector, and now they're insured on the Obamacare side. And frankly, it should be a lot more than that. And I know some people are saying, what do you mean it should be more than that, Rod? It takes time. No, it doesn't take time. Remember, there is a law that says you have to have it. So basically what they are out there touting as a big deal is actually proof of the American people's rejection of this law. If you've only got an additional 16 or 17 million people, and the law says that they have to have insurance, everybody has to have it, and only 16 or 17 million additional people have gotten it, that means your law is a failure. Because people, they can't afford it. They don't want it. They don't need it. For whatever reason, they're rebuffing it. So this notion, we got 17 million new, people on it. Even if that number was absolutely true, it is an abysmal failure based on that number. I mean, I don't know how you have a law that says that everybody must have health insurance. And then you only get an additional 16 million people. So in other words, if that's all that needed it, that didn't have it before, then why did we have this law? It's only 16 million people out of 230 million. Why did we need this law to fit 16 or 17 million people and put them on health insurance plans out of 230 million? If that's all we had to do, was just insure 16 or 17 million people. Oh, so it isn't 16 or 17. There's far more. So in other words, your law is a failure. But they can't say that. They have to tell, well, it takes time. No, it doesn't take time. Not in this case. If it's a voluntary system, yeah, it takes time. But this isn't voluntary. This is mandatory. You don't get a choice. Plain and simple. So this is a failure. A total, utter, complete failure. Just say it. Go ahead. All you Obama fans out there, go ahead and say it. Say, this is a failure. And it's taken the Supreme Court to basically prop it up. Because, all these states didn't have exchanges. So if you decided, think about this, if there's only 17 million people, new policies, and 6.5 million of them are on the federal government exchange, and they strike down the federal government exchange system, that means 6.5 million people probably lose their coverage, which now that 17 million is what, 10.5? 10.5 million. Yeah, is that still a success? Yeah, no, I don't think so. But, Chief Justice John Roberts wrote the opinion for the 4 Democrats appointed and Justice Anthony Kennedy, saying the Obama administration's interpretation of the Affordable Care Act was lawful. Yeah, lawful. Their interpretation of it. The states must set up exchanges. in order for everybody to be able to participate. And Obama's interpretation, well, I think that states don't have it, then federal government can do it. Basically, that's a kind of a very, very loose interpretation. But everybody's out there saying that Obama is staking his legacy on this law. Now we're all about legacy. I mean, ever since the Clintons, it's all about legacy. What is your legacy going to be? Your legacy is important to everybody. You have to have a legacy that you leave behind. When you leave office, it has to be a legacy that we can all look back on with wonderment and pride. You know, I don't give a rip what a president's legacy is. And I don't think a president should worry about it. And I don't think the lamestream media should worry about the president's legacy. It's going to be what it is based on how he governed. And this guy governed terribly. I mean, he's an awful president. He's just awful. I don't know how else to put, but President Obama is awful. He's a terrible president. No, Rod, he's not a bad guy, really. He really cares. No. He's an awful president. His policies suck. They're damaging. And when we get a new president, and I know it's going to happen. All these people who elect a new president, when we elect a new president in 2016, and we may get a real conservative in there, they're going to expect him to fix all this mess in like a year or two. It's not gonna happen, folks. I mean, we're talking about this stuff is so bad and it runs so deep. It is going to take years, possibly multiple presidencies to fix. I'm just telling you, you're not going to be able to reverse this overnight. And this is one of the things I try to impress people who have this, love for only one candidate. Okay, what happens when that candidate can't run anymore in 8 years and everything isn't fixed? Well, he can fix it. He's going to fix it. No, I'm sorry. I don't care who Ted Cruz is going to fix it in 4 or 8 years. It's not going to happen. This is 60 years of screw up. I know there were a few terms of presidents in there where there was a halt, like Ronald Reagan years. There was a halt to this mess, but you're still looking at 60 plus years of liberalism running rampant. It isn't going to be reversed in 4 years. And not to mention, it's going to take something that is constantly done and battled over year after year. Well, that's kind of disheartening, Rod. Single freaking year. Well, that's exactly what you have to do. You have no other choice. It's not going to be reversed I know everybody's going to think, if Cruz is elected, he better straighten everything out the first 2 months. His first 90 days while he's there. And I'm telling you, that's not going to happen either. I don't care who the president, even Donald Trump gets elected. Donald Trump is going to build the wall. He's going to build the fence on the southern border. He's not going to do it in his first 90 days. That's just not the way our government works. There's no way to get it to work that way. I mean, you're gonna have people on the left that are gonna have all kinds of conniptions and start, suing the new administration over all kinds of things, and some of that stuff is going to have to work its way up to the Supreme Court, and that takes time. It takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. I'm just telling you. I'm not telling you this so that you lose heart or lose hope, but I'm telling you so you can have more realistic expectations. so you don't get frustrated and burned out and just, huff and puff in the corner someplace and pout. Because the last time Americans pouted, we ended up with Barack Obama. And then we end up with a law that was challenged and goes all the way to the Supreme Court, which everybody knew was just going to, there's no way that they could possibly find this to be legal. And they did. Oh, there's no possible way they can find all of these subsidies legal. And they did. So what else is next? Oh, there's no possible way that they could think that gay marriage is legal. And I'm predicting to you right now, they will. The course that this court has taken, they will find that gay marriage is A-okay. Well, there's no possible way. Well, yeah, there is a possible way. They will. No, don't doubt me, folks. It's going to be an okay thing. If they can find a way to secure the belief that Obamacare twice is legal, you don't think that they're not going to decide that gays have a right to the word marriage? Just saying, they can, you can ban, I bet you, people are going to try to sue to get the rebel flag saved in certain circles, and it's not going to work. And then somebody's going to just on a whim try to sue to get rid of other symbols or flags like the Soviet Union flag, and that's not going to work either. Because whatever the liberal minority decides is a good or if they decide it's bad, it's bad. If the liberal minority decides it's bad, then it's bad for everyone, and nobody can use it. So if the liberal minority decides that the Confederate rebel battle flag is bad for everyone, even in a bandana, then nobody's going to be able to have one. Plain and simple. I speaking of that, places like Amazon and eBay are saying they're going to stop selling, the rebel stuff, the Confederacy stuff, and it got me to thinking that there is a shop in Manchester, New Hampshire, that sells Confederate stuff. Now here's the rub. The shop is not owned by a white person. The shop is owned by a Latino. So here's a Latino selling Confederate rebel stuff, and he has no problem with it. Now, I got to tell you, look, there are a lot of, I find it interesting, there are a lot of blacks that don't have a big, huge problem with the Confederate flag. I'm one. The General Lee. Everybody remember the Dukes. Now, this is how stupid this is getting, folks. And this is really what gets my goat. Now, let me be clear. I do not believe that the Confederate rebel flag should be flying in any official or non-official capacity over any government institution or building or grounds. It should not be put up by the government. Absolutely not. It should not be in any type of government documentation, any portion or symbol portion thereof. Absolutely nothing of the Confederacy should be shown in official documents or flying in an official capacity anywhere in the United States, period. Should not. Let me be clear on that. Should not. However, for the general purpose of having the rebel flag, here's a story from Yahoo. You can say goodbye to the General Lee from the Dukes of Hazzard. The Dukes of Hazzard, people. There was a story also talking about, there was a columnist who says, we now should get rid of Gone with the Wind, both the movie and the novel. What are we going to start having film and book burnings now in order to cleanse our country of the Confederate rebel flag? and any symbolism thereof? I mean, this is redonkulous, folks. In the wake of a deadly South Carolina shooting, it always comes back to this one incident. All of a sudden, this one little stupid punk of a kid decides to shoot up a black church. By the way, there's another story about a black church in Charlotte, North Carolina. Here it is. A North Carolina black church is set ablaze. No guns. No guns being used here. Arsonist targets predominantly black church in Charlotte, North Carolina. The story, it happened Wednesday morning. And we're just hearing the story is just breaking on Thursday. Although there were no initial indications that the crime was motivated by hate, officials haven't ruled it out. Fire investigator David Williams told MSNBC station WCNC. The blaze caused about $250,000 in damage. Now, Pastor Mannix Kinsey said the church's congregation has already forgiven the culprit. Already forgiven. Don't even know who it is. We don't even know who it is that set fire to our wonderful church. We forgive him. We forgive him. We forgive the arsonist. He shouldn't be, he shouldn't be arsonists in people's buildings like this. But we forgive him. Now, buildings can be repaired. They can be built over, Kinsey told WCNC. This is an opportunity for God to touch the hearts of the individual. You see, God can touch the individual of this horrific sin. It's sin. He done touched the house of God. The Lord is going to be angry, but the Lord will forgive, and we can forgive. It said the Lord will forgive, and we will forgive. And then you're going to have some fools out there that are thinking, why the hell are these black folks, forgiving these people? Well, because that's the heart of Christianity. It's forgiveness. But we have somebody out there, somebody torched a black church. So now we should get, oh Lord, it's a fire. Ain't nobody got time for that. We need to get rid of fire. Because fire can be dangerous. Somebody can use fire. They'll use fire, in a racist way. They're going to use the fire in a racist way. So we got to get rid of the fire. Only the government can have fire. You peoples out there, you can't have fire. Because you can be racist, especially you white supremacists, man. You can't have, y'all think that you so supreme. You can't have fire. So we're going to take the fire. We're going to take all the symbolisms of fire down. So no fire flags and no fire flies, no fire this and no fire that, no fire anywhere. Because fire is just evil. It's being used for evil. We're going to get rid of. You can't even say firearm anymore because we're getting rid of fire. Can't have nothing with fire in it. And we're going to jump up and down and praise the Holy Ghost that there's no more fire. We all going to freeze come wintertime, but hey, we'll all be saved and safe because there'd be no more fire. I don't, it's, I know that there are some people out there that are going to try to blast me for that one. But go ahead and try. I give you a free shot. You won't get very far. Just to let you know. So now they're attacking the General Lee from the Dukes of Hazzard. Now, I want somebody to look at that program and tell me where there is any racism. Where is there any racism in the Dukes of Hazzard? Well, just some good old boys. Well, yeah, it's good. You know what they probably should do? Here's what, if they really want to get even and get back at the Confederacy and all that kind of stuff, you know what they should do? And I'm going to be totally serious here. They should do like they did with the torch. They should make Bo and Luke Duke, cast a couple of black actors to be Bo and Luke Duke, and see, and a black Daisy, and see what happens then.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
If you want to work until you keel over, have less of everything in retirement, or give back more of your hard-earned money to the stock market again, then just ignore me. But if you'd like to protect the money you save, receive a steady, predictable retirement income, and enjoy financial security for as long as you live, then listen to this. You can download a free report that reveals the wealth-building secrets Wall Street and the banks don't want you to know. You'll learn how you can get guaranteed growth, safety, and real prosperity without risking your money in the Wall Street casino, and how to get the money you need when you need it, simply by asking for it. This is the best way to have a 100% secure retirement and know your money will last as long as you do. To learn more about this method and to get your free report, go to 52security.com. That's the number 52security.com. 52security.com. Go to 52security.com.
Hurt or injured in a car accident? It can be hard to take the proper legal action after a car accident, but waiting can cost you more. The law requires car accident victims to assert claims promptly. You could lose out by simply waiting. Call 800-709-4667 right now to see what your claim could be worth when handled by a skilled attorney. With a lawyer fighting and speaking up for you, you could be entitled to a big cash award. Call 800-709-4667. That's 800-709-4667. Now it's fast and easy to connect with the legal help you need after your car accident. Call 800-709-4667. The call is free, but you need to act now before time runs out on your claim. You need a lawyer to fight for you, protect you, and get you the compensation you need and deserve. Time's wasting. Call 800-709-4667. That's 800-709-4667. Call now.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please call or go online right now.
The following letters were written by our troops.
My dear fellow Americans, I truly appreciate your support. I was starting to wonder if people had forgotten about us over here. But then one of my buddies showed me this website, and now as tears are streaming down my face, I can see for sure that you haven't. Private Emily B., U.S. Army.
It's so heartwarming to see the American people not letting the men and women of the armed forces be forgotten. Your letters make a group of grown men, battle-hardened and gruff, act like a bunch of kids around a Christmas tree. Thanks. Staff Sergeant Matthew H., U.S. Army.
Your support may be the most important thing our troops can carry with them. But don't take our word for it. Take theirs. To show your support, visit americasupportsyou.mil. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Defense and the Ad Council.
Millions of Americans every day are shedding unwanted pounds by taking tested and proven Ultra-Lipo Stick. Carbohydrates are bad. Our carbo-fighting antioxidant is good. Just listen to these satisfied customers.
My name is Gail, and I lost like 20 pounds on Ultra-Lipo Stick.
My name is Jared, and I lost 46 pounds using Ultra-Lipo Stick.
My name is Zach, and I actually gained weight. This stuff sucks!
Ultra-Lipo Stick is safe and easy to inject. Just 3 doses 4 times a day discreetly underneath your fingernail. Listen to this.
I used Ultra-Lipo Stick and suffered from side effects like uncontrollable greasy discharge.
Ultra-Lipo Stick, it turned the armpits of all of my shirts orange. This stuff is crap.
Try it today and see some real results. Ultra-Lipo Stick. Not available in stores. Results may vary.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Most politically incorrect black man on the planet, Rod Eccles.
You know, folks, well, not over our country, but now might be the time to panic over something else. And not over the country, but over an iconic product that I don't know many people admit that they like. Now, I'm going to be frank. I really think they're kind of ugly. But a lot of people seem to like these things. And they seem to be prevalent in certain parts of the country, with certain age groups and certain types of people, if you will. And there are certain, places within in states or cities or what have you that you'll find more of these than you will in other parts of a city or what have you, like trailer parks or something like that. But that is the venerable pink flamingo. Yes, the pink flamingo. Well, now may be time, if you are a pink flamingo, lawn ornament lover, now may be the time to panic. Because it appears that yesterday, I didn't even know that there was, I didn't. Can you believe there is such a person who actually did this? But hey, only in America. There is an actual inventor or creator of the plastic pink flamingo lawn ornament. The pink flamingo creator of the creator of the pink flamingo lawn ornament, which also spawned, I do believe there was a Beanie Baby, and there are other offshoots from of the pink flamingo lawn ornament that you can. I think there's like little statues and desk ornaments and tchotchkes and stuff like that. But the pink flamingo lawn ornament creator, Donald Featherstone, passed away yesterday. He was 79. Now now I knew that there was a person who created. However, I didn't know where he resided. And as the story says on CNN, he resided in Fitchburg, Massachusetts, which is not really all that far from me. Actually, he died Monday. I didn't know he lived in Fitchburg. But not that I really cared. But you know, he could. I'm, you know, he made millions of dollars in licensing fees and stuff, and you know, royalties and stuff off of this rather unsightly thing. Rod, they look like the real pink flamingos down there. You can see down in Florida and stuff. No, they don't. they really do. I've seen plenty of them, and they don't. I'm just thankful that they're not, because, you know, the flamingo birds are actually very large birds. They're like blue herons, great blue herons. They're huge birds. And I am thankful that most pink flamingo lawn ornaments are nowhere near the size of the actual real life bird, because they'd be huge. And I don't think people would want something that size on their lawn. But he did pass away at the age of 79, so says his wife, Nancy Featherstone. Now, Featherstone, it sounds like it's a Native American name. I don't know. I don't know if he, you know, it doesn't claim that he is. I don't know if he is or isn't. But basically, a Cato company, who still manufactures those pink flamingos, announced that his wife, Nancy, told them that Donald passed away. He was, everybody loved him, I guess. Everybody said, you know, he says he was just a nice person. But he had a lengthy battle with Lewy body dementia. Now, I have no idea what that is, by the way. I've never even heard of it. But evidently it's a disease that finally ended up killing him. But it's well, I guess this thing it became, well, I guess, you know, he developed these things a long time ago. They were popular in the late 50s. The 60s saw a rejection of all things parental and plastic in favor of classier lawn decor. But in the 70s, welcomed back the bad taste and schlock. Especially when the John Waters movie Pink Flamingos came out in 72, the uncool bird was once again cool. Now, these things once sold for $2.76 a pair. And pink flamingos have been all over the place ever since then. And they're just such kitsch. Anyway, it's sorry to see an American, an inventor of an American icon to pass away. But he did. At the age of 79 on Monday, Donald Featherstone, the creator of the pink flamingo plastic lawn ornament. Only in America, folks. Well, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back, my fellow Americans. It is I, your lovable host, L. Rod, coming to you live from my bunkerized home studio somewhere in the great granite state of New Hampshire, where the state motto is still live free or die. It is not big government or bust. And yes, I checked again today, and it still says live free or die. It is Thursday, June the 25th in the year of our Lord 2015. If you wish to call me this evening live on our toll-free number, the number is 603-835-3224. Again, that's 603-835-3224, and you will get connected directly to yours truly, me. Moi. That's French for me. For those of you in Rush Limbaugh's Rio Linda. You know, it is... I gotta, with this whole Southern, you know, the Confederate flag thing, you gotta start asking, are blacks part of the problem? I mean, are we part of the problem that we say is out there? Because I know we got this silly notion of white supremacy, institutionalized. What the hell is institutionalized racism? Now, slavery would be institutionalized racism, but we don't have slavery. So what exactly do they mean when they say institutionalized racism? Now, I'm not going to speculate on what they're talking about, even though I probably know exactly what they mean by it. But I want somebody from the left to tell me exactly what, one of you people out there who perpetuate this notion that there is institutionalized racism and that there is this promoted white supremacy issue. I want to know what you mean by that. You have to tell me. But anyway, as I was saying before the break, they're gonna be saying goodbye to the Dukes of Hazzard General Lee. Now, in the wake of the deadly South Carolina shooting and the decision by several major retailers to stop selling merchandise featuring the Confederate battle flag, the toy spawned by the hit TV series Dukes of Hazzard that became a Southern icon wearing those colors will no longer be produced. While the car hasn't been in front of a camera since 2007, a direct-to-video sequel of the 2005 movie starring Johnny Knoxville, the General Lee remains a popular die-cast and model toy widely available online. Now, one of the original cars used in the series sold for $110,000 at auction in 2012 to PGA golfer Bubba Watson. Bubba. Now, before people say, well, see, yeah, I said Bubba. You know, there are black men named Bubba. Not just white men. There are black men named Bubba. Now, following the move by Walmart, Amazon, eBay, and others, the steps by political leaders in South Carolina, Virginia, and elsewhere to remove the flag from state capitals and license plates, Yahoo Autos reached out to Warner Brothers Consumer Products, the branch of the movie studio that licenses toys for the series, asking about the General Lee status. This is the official reply. Warner Brothers Consumer Products has one licensee producing die-cast replicas and vehicle model kits featuring the General Lee with the Confederate flag on its roof, as it was seen in the TV series. We have elected to cease the licensing of these product categories. Now, at the time the Dukes of Hazzard premiered in 1979 on CBS TV, the placement of the Confederate flag and the naming of the 69 Dodge Charger driven by Bo and Luke Duke after the South's most famous general drew few, if any, protest. Of course they didn't. It was just a stupid, campy, fun TV show. Now, after the South's a state that persisted through the end of its original run in 85, the show was based in part on real-life exploits of bootlegger Jerry Rushing, who named his old Chrysler Traveler with one L after Lee's horse. Now, only in recent years has General Lee's Confederate flag and its associations with the defense of slavery and white supremacy in America has drawn more backlash. Now, in 2012, Warner Brothers shot down rumors that it was removing the flag from the car, but fan clubs where replicas gather remain adamant in the display of the original, and I don't blame them. If you've never seen the Dukes of Hazzard, you really got to try to. You got to be able to play. I don't know. Maybe you won't be able to get it anymore because it has Confederate flags in it. And that's just silly. I watched the Dukes of Hazzard. It was just a silly, campy. It came on Friday. Was it Friday nights or Saturday nights? It came on Friday nights. It was just a silly, campy, good, wholesome television show. I mean, it was. I'm at a loss here. I can't believe that we have gone so. This is one of those things about political correctness that really gets my goat. Is that things that are innocuous and innocent and harmless get trampled on. Simply because somebody on the left who wants to be ultra PC has decided that a symbol of something, should not be allowed to stand. That nobody, no matter who they are, should be able to utilize it, have it, keep it, hold it, treasure it, what have you. But what they don't tell you is that a lot of this, look, you can look at the 1950s and 60s. This types of things. So that's a bad dream to have, simply because you believe it's what white people wanted. That doesn't make any sense. So it's better for blacks to what? Stay in the ghetto, government housing, in the projects, because that's better. They shouldn't strive to live in a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath house with a 2-car, car attached garage. Because that's a white supremacist ideal of life. I don't get it. Seems to me that the racism is on the reverse. You're trying to tell us that, well, no, blacks should stay where they are. They shouldn't strive for a white type of middle class living. Well, just because white people live that way doesn't mean that everybody, wants to try to be white. They just like the way people live who live that way. They want to be middle class. They want to be upper class. Is there anything wrong with that? No, that's white supremacist, really. This political correctness nonsense is going to end up not only dividing the country, but causing and forcing a lot of people to stay in their economic class. So by fiat, there's going to be less upward mobility, if you will, of different ethnic groups, because, hey, after all, upward mobility is nothing but a white supremacist ideal, right? Making more money, that's a white supremacist ideal. Raising a family with a mom and a dad, that's a white supremacist ideal. Living in the middle class neighborhood and sending your kid to a good school or a private school, well, no, that's a white supremacist ideal. Living in a safe neighborhood, not having to worry about your kid getting shot by a drive-by, that's a white supremacist ideal, according to the left. It's ludicrous, folks. It's absolutely ludicrous. And I'm not talking about the rapper, the rap artist, Luda. Not him. Ludicrous is absolutely stupid. Now, I'm sure that somebody's going to say, well, that's a white supremacist word, Rod. Well, then tell that to Luda. I'm sure he would disagree, but then if he disagreed, he'd be one of those tomfooleries who has, was it Munchausen syndrome or whatever? Stockholm syndrome. Because, he makes all this money, and which, by the way, not a lot of white people are involved in their records. But, hey, that's what I'm guessing. Motown is probably, the original Motown is probably going to be seen as some sort of white supremacist ideal. You can't get away from this kind of insane type of political correctness from these people. They just won't let you. And they won't stop. You think they're going to stop at the General Lee? At the car. This reminds me of a time. And obviously not a time that I experienced firsthand, because it was a very long time ago. But it reminds me of a time back in the day, in a place called ancient Egypt, where pharaohs, when a pharaoh came into power, and if he didn't like the previous pharaoh, what were they known to do? They were known to have tried to erase the memory, the history of the previous pharaoh that they did not like. You know, defacing all their monuments with their faces on it, removing or painting over all their, you know, their pictographs and their stories that were telling of their battles and their achievements and whatnot. You know, the removal of the papyrus that had all their doings and their birth records and that kind of stuff. Just trying to erase the memory from history of the previous pharaoh that the current pharaoh did not like. Funny thing is that you can't fully erase history. Not even back then. Now, you can, you know, really forget about it today with the internet, but even back then, they could not fully erase somebody from history. How do we know? We know that they have attempted to fully wipe people from history, but we happen to know who those people are in most cases. Because there was history that remained on them somewhere. So even back in ancient Egypt, they could not get away and totally eradicate history. And yet we have people today, in this day and age, that think that they can actually do that. They can just go ahead and eradicate the history that they don't like. You know what? We don't like the old South and, you know, all it stood for and the Confederacy and all that. We're just going to wipe that off the map. No more Confederate flag anywhere. Nobody forget the fact that, you know, Bill and Hillary fully endorsed and embraced the Confederate battle flag numerous times, both while Bill was governor and as president of these United States. But now you have Hillary running out there talking about, well, everybody, we need to remove this flag from everywhere. And you know what? She basically wrapped herself up in it. But that's okay. Because now she says to get rid of it. She's become enlightened. She's grown. She knows better now. Really? What a bunch of bunk. What a bunch of phony baloney, good time, you know, banana hacking, idiotic, liberal. I'm not going to say that because it'll get me in trouble with the FCC. Look, this is just, you know, I can't, no, it's not time to panic yet, folks, but it's only time to panic over the pink flamingos. It's not time to panic over this nonsense with PC correctness and the Confederate. This will blow over. They'll end up trying other things and going after the U.S. flag for one, and they'll go after other symbols of capitalism and freedom and claim that it's about, you know, racism and slavery and everything. But hey, you know, one thing you have to understand about racism and slavery is that there were blacks in Africa that started the trade. You know, they sold other black Africans into slavery. You don't hear much about that. All you hear about is the white people. That, you know, white people hate blacks. Really? Well, they did business with them. That's how they got their slaves. So I don't... You know, well, it is what it is. Supreme Court upholds another law. They uphold broad housing discrimination claims. Yes, a divided U.S. Supreme Court on Thursday, and this is from Reuters. A divided U.S. Supreme Court on Thursday embraced a broad interpretation of discrimination claims allowed under the landmark Fair Housing Act, a blow to lenders and insurers that face such lawsuits, and had urged the court to curb them in a 5-4 decision in a major civil rights case out of Texas. The court preserved a legal tool that has been used for decades to bring bias lawsuits over actions that have a discriminatory effect, even with no evidence of discriminatory intent. Oh, so now it doesn't even matter what the intent is. But, but the other law there was all about intent, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. The Obamacare law, it's all about intent. But now it doesn't matter what the intent is. It's all about fitting what they want to fit, folks. Really, that's what it's all about.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. Call InventHelp today.
To get your free inventor's information, call 1-800-352-1609. That's 1-800-352-1609.
If you want to work until you keel over, have less of everything in retirement, or give back more of your hard-earned money to the stock market again, then just ignore me. But if you'd like to protect the money you save, receive a steady, predictable retirement income, and enjoy financial security for as long as you live, then listen to this. You can download a free report that reveals the wealth-building secrets Wall Street and the banks don't want you to know. You'll learn how you can get guaranteed growth, safety, and real prosperity without risking your money in the Wall Street casino, and how to get the money you need when you need it, simply by asking for it. This is the best way to have a 100% secure retirement and know your money will last as long as you do. To learn more about this method and to get your free report, go to 52security.com. That's the number 52security.com. 52security.com. Go to 52security.com.
Hurt or injured in a car accident? It can be hard to take the proper legal action after a car accident, but waiting can cost you more. The law requires car accident victims to assert claims promptly. You could lose out by simply waiting. Call 800-709-4667 right now to see what your claim could be worth when handled by a skilled attorney. With a lawyer fighting and speaking up for you, you could be entitled to a big cash award. Call 800-709-4667. That's 800-709-4667. Now it's fast and easy to connect with the legal help you need after your car accident. Call 800-709-4667. The call is free, but you need to act now before time runs out on your claim. You need a lawyer to fight for you, protect you, and get you the compensation you need and deserve. Time's wasting. Call 800-709-4667. That's 800-709-4667. Call now.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please call or go online right now.
You shouldn't have to pay to talk to the people closest to you, or the people who used to be. That's why Umbrella Wireless is proud to announce the new Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan. Now you'll get unlimited calls to your best buddy, your mom, or Cindy, once she realizes that you're seriously meant for each other and should stop screening your calls. Now the 30 minutes of agonizing silence where you're both afraid to hang up may drain your battery, but it won't drain your wallet. And you'll get unlimited calls just to check if she still cares enough to pick up. with no extra charges. With the Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan, your phone will automatically answer calls from your ex, because maybe she finally realizes that you're the only one for her and wants to get coffee sometime. Now, after lonely nights of looking at pictures of the road trip you took together when everything was great, your misspelled texts are absolutely free. The only thing you have to pay for is the booze. The Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan. Because she wants you back. She just doesn't know it yet.
You're listening to The Rod Eccles Show.
Yes, indeed. 603-835-3224 is the number to call, toll free, if you wish to join me in this last segment on the Rod Eccles Show for this evening. I know this is the fastest 2 hours on Internet Talk Radio. There is a poll, this is from The Hill, there's a poll out there, a second consecutive poll has found that Donald Trump is surging into second place among GOP presidential contenders in New Hampshire. Now, folks, this is early. Again, not time to panic yet. It's early. Now, according to a CNN WMUR poll, why WMUR is teaming up with CNN is beyond me. WMUR is they're an NBC station, I think, affiliate. Anyway, so according to a CNN WMUR poll released today, former Florida Governor Jeb Bush leads the field in the Granite State with 16% support, followed by Trump at 11%. Every other Republican presidential candidate is polling in the single digits in New Hampshire. A Suffolk University poll released on Tuesday also showed Trump moving into second place, trailing only Bush in New Hampshire. Now, in addition, Fox News poll released on Wednesday found Trump has jumped into second place nationally behind Bush. Now, voters in New Hampshire said Trump, a real estate mogul and reality TV star who says he's worth billions, is best. He doesn't say he's worth. He's not the. Forbes says he's worth billions. Who says he's worth billions is best equipped among all of the Republican candidates to handle the economy. Now, 29% choose Trump, with Bush being the next closest candidate, 13% to handle the economy. Well, he is a successful businessman. And I'm just really, I know he's formally announced he's in the race. I just have a really hard time understanding that. For the simple fact that, he would be giving up a lot. Not to mention a humongous pay cut. I love how they say, well, he says he's worth billions. Well, the man is a billionaire. I mean, Forbes takes this stuff pretty seriously when they try to rank people, and they say he's a billionaire. So, look at all the real estate that he owns or controls. Yeah, that's worth some money. But look, I know. People are probably saying, "Oh my God!" I can just see it now. If Trump actually wins the Republican nomination, I can just see it now. How many Republicans are going to stay? I think more Republicans would stay home and not vote than if Jeb Bush were to receive the nomination. I'm serious about that, and that's that's sad. That's too bad. Simply because, Trump he's not I do not believe he's the best candidate that we have right now in all the group of candidates that we have. But he is far better than anything that the Democrats can throw at us. You do not believe that Trump is not better than Hillary Clinton or Bernie Sanders? Really? Seriously? I know that he has said some really blue rhino type of liberalistic type of policy stuff. He said it in the past. I understand that. I really do. But if you're talking about foreign policy and you're talking about domestic economy and you're talking about protecting the southern border, he wouldn't be a bad choice. You want to talk about a stern and stiff negotiator? If you're going to give the TPP, the Trans-Pacific Trade Pact, to any president, you might as well give it to Donald Trump. Because that guy, he's in for his idea of win-win is he wins. Seriously. Yeah, I know some people, well, geez, Rod is just heaping all kinds of praise on Donald Trump. Is he going to support Donald Trump? No. You have to understand, Donald Trump is an icon of mine. He's an economic business hero of mine. Just, if you want to be in the real estate game, you have to read up on how Trump did it. He's a case study. The man, when it comes to real estate and business in real estate and things like that, and growing a brand, he turned the Trump name into a huge brand. Can't deny that. He's a brilliant man in that sense. He's a brilliant negotiator. This guy, he has never declared bankruptcy personally, ever. Yes, some of his businesses have. That's no different from other businesses declaring bankruptcy, but he has always avoided it simply because he has been a masterful negotiator. So, you can say what you want about him, but, if anything, I think what our government should be doing is utilizing this guy's expertise in negotiation because, as I said, his idea of a win-win is Donald Trump wins. It doesn't mean everybody else wins. It just means Donald Trump wins. That's a win-win for Donald. And that's what you need when you're dealing with foreign nations who want to try to bury your own nation. And you want somebody that goes in there and says, well, yeah, I'm here looking for a win-win type of proposition, which means I win. Plain and simple. That's what we want. We want that type of mentality. And I can tell you there are a lot of countries that aren't going to want to deal or negotiate with Donald Trump. And that's fine. We don't need to do business with him. Just so it wouldn't, instead of him being president, maybe he should be our trade negotiator. Maybe we should, I don't know. Maybe we should do something like that for the Donald. But, it is what it is. Hey, Hillary in New Hampshire, Hillary and Bernie Sanders are in a statistical dead heat. So Hillary's lost her mojo. New poll, New Hampshire poll finds that Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders are in a statistical dead heat for the Democratic nomination. Again, all of this stuff is really early, folks. We haven't even gotten to the debates on either side yet. We haven't, everybody who's going to get into the race on either side, Democrats and especially Republicans, have not gotten into the race yet. I mean, there could be a couple other Democrats that float their presidential hat in the waters. We know that Chris Christie, I guess, just announced today. I almost missed that one. Chris Christie announced today that he's running. I guess he announced. I didn't see it or hear it. But I'm told that Chris Christie announced today that that he's running. I'm kind of surprised about that. I didn't think he'd get in this time around. And Bobby Jindal too kind of surprised me with. I didn't think he was going to do it, but he did. And we're still waiting for Scott Walker and a couple of others possibly. So before this is all done, we could have 20 contenders on the Republican side. So what are we at? Like 14, 15 now? So we got a little ways to go. But now, in order to make all this complete, does anybody know where Ross Perot is? I'm over here. And anybody's got any ideas about how I can run and win, well, I'm all ears. Yeah, these things in my head, they're ears too. But that's not the ears I'm talking about. I'm talking about how I can win and be president of the United States of America. Because I almost did it back in 1992. I took the presidency away from George W. Bush. George H.W. Bush, that is. Because I was all ears back then, too. Those black helicopters flying around trying to ruin my wife's wedding. But, yeah, we got, so Ross Perot's not around. But we'll have to see. Hey, the IRS, does anybody know where he is? I haven't heard from good old Ross. He's still alive, right? I think I would have heard if he had passed away. I don't know. I'll have to look that up. IRS erased Lois Lerner emails even after a subpoena. So says an audit. Up to 24,000 emails completely lost. That is just a massive amount of data. For people who are supposed to, they make these laws, they're supposed to keep these laws. Let me take a break from that for a second. Speaking of business, I just learned today that, this is still the land of opportunity. Now, I'm not going to advertise for this person, but there is somebody that I know that they decided to get into quote unquote fashion business. And what I mean by fashion business, basically they design T-shirts. And they came up with all these wonderful T-shirt designs. And evidently, he is earning buku bucks on these T-shirts. Now when I say buku bucks, they're not your average everyday T-shirt. Now, yes, you can find them online at an online store, but they're in some of the most exclusive types of stores in the country. We're talking these are T-shirts, graphic T-shirts that are being sold on Fifth Ave in New York and Newberry Street here in Boston, Rodeo Drive out in California, those types of places. And you're probably saying, well, geez, I don't know, how much is the T-shirt going for? One of his least expensive T-shirts sells for $110. He has a T-shirt that he sells. It's a full graphic T-shirt. The entire front of it is of art that he's done. He's designed. Goes for $235 for a T-shirt, and he's selling them like hotcakes. So people can't tell me that there is no room for opportunity or growth or the American dream anymore. And I found this. I'm like, really, $110 for a T-shirt? I mean, that's insane. Who would do that? Well, obviously, people that can afford to buy a $110 T-shirt. Would I? And no, there's no like gold leaf or gold or anything on these things. And evidently, the fabric care of these things is you can wash it in cold water in your washing machine. Not your top load washer, I guess is but your front load washer will do fine. But wash it in cold. But still, $110? No, I think I'm using Woolite and washing that thing by hand. But and $235 for a T-shirt. I don't think I have a dress shirt that costs $110. I've got a couple of really nice dress shirts. And I've got some Calvin Klein in there, and I got the some of the top promoted brands, if you want to call them that. And I didn't spend that kind of money. And I got to say, I look good in these shirts, but $110? And they're dress shirts. But it's $110 for a T-shirt. The thing that goes under that dress shirt. But hey, but he's an independent designer. And, he collaborates with a few other people, evidently, the manufacturer of the T-shirts and things like that, the screen printer and things like that. Obviously, he doesn't screen print them himself. And I guess it gets pretty intricate. So, he's got to design it, and then there's got to be a design engineer or something to help fabricate the screen printing press and that type of thing. But, he talks about all the government regulation that he has to go through, just for being basically an independent designer. In that he has to keep track of all this stuff. He's got to keep this stuff for his records. And here we have the IRS just flouting the law. Hey, there's a subpoena for all these Lois Lerner emails. You know what we're going to do? Who actually does this? If you have nothing to hide, who does this? Oh, there's a congressional subpoena for all these emails. Okay, hit the erase button. Delete, 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 delete. Who does that? I don't get what, what I don't get? It's how people spend $235 for a T-shirt. But the IRS erased backup tapes with Lois Lerner emails even after the messages were subjected to congressional subpoena, likely permanently losing as many as 24,000 emails. Really? The tax agency didn't actually destroy some of its backup tapes, but only degaussed them, which meant the agency's inspector general was able to back and recover the messages. Again, who does that kind of thing? Now, basically what they did was they destroyed evidence. As many as 24,000 may have been permanently lost emails, but the Inspector General has managed to recover about 1,000 messages from tapes because the IRS only degaussed them, the tapes, but didn't destroy them. So degaussed, D-E-G-A-U-S-S-E-D. Hope I pronounced that correctly. Still, the move to erase the tapes after they had been requested by Congress didn't sit well with the Oversight Chairman Jason Chaffetz, who accused IRS Chief John Kozanen of obstructing Congress's investigation into the emails and Tea Party targeting. They destroyed evidence. That's what they did, said the Utah Republican. Now, he wondered whether it was a coincidence that the erasure came just a month after President Obama dismissed Tea Party targeting scandal as a non-issue. Well, no, it's not a coincidence. No such thing as a coinkadink in politics. They did it on purpose because they knew exactly what they're doing. And this whole notion that this is troubling, it shouldn't be troubling. Somebody needs to go to jail for obstruction of justice and obstruction of Congress. Plain and simple. Whoever erased them, the IRS chief who was in charge at the time, needs to go to jail. Directly to jail. Do not pass go. I mean, this whole notion that these people can just get away of doing this kind of thing all the time is absolutely redonkulous. And that's my new favorite word, redonkulous. I mean, it means ridiculous, but it just sounds kind of hip. Redonkulous. Redonk. But who, again, I got to ask, who does this kind of thing on a regular basis? Now, Representative Elijah E. Cummings, the ranking Democrat on the Oversight Committee, says there was nobody who did anything intentionally to hinder our investigation. Oh, really? So 24,000 emails just get permanently erased after, your group subpoenas them, and you say nobody intentionally. Look, when you try to erase tapes or you destroy them, that's not a coinkydink, that's not an accident. And accident, for those of you in Rush Limbaugh's Rio Linda, that's the way I like to pronounce accident. Well, why don't you pronounce things correctly, Rod? I mean, you're just perpetuating that whole stereotype that y'all people just can't speak normal. Because I like to play with words. Because I happen to know the original meaning of words, I often like to play with them. It's fun. That's why I say I play with them, because it's fun. And it really ticks off some very stuffy, stodgy people. Liberals as well as some ultra right-wing people can really have a stick up their butt that they need to remove. I don't understand. How can you go through... Why is it liberals always seem to be so unhappy? They're always angry. They're angry. They're always fighting something. You got to fight for this and fight for that and fight for this right and fight for this right and fight for that right and this ability and equality. We've got to fight for this equality. They're never happy. As if the world has never, embraced whatever they believe. Well, maybe the world never did embrace what they believe in, but they're always trying to fight you and force you into doing something or believing something that you don't want to do or believe in. It's just fight, 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 with a sourpuss on their face. They're never happy. They're always trying to shout you down. What is that all about? Can somebody tell me why liberals... you've gotten a lot of stuff over the past 6 years. You think you'd be happy by now. At least crack a smile every once in a while. Why are these people always so miserable? And the PC, well, you can't say this. You got to get rid of this flag and that flag, and you can't have the General Lee anymore, and you can't use this word, and you can't use that word. Why? They're never happy. You can't use that word niggardly because it doesn't mean what it means because it sounds like another word and you can't use it. Well, everybody else is using the N-word. Even Obama used the N-word. Well, that's different because he's trying to invoke a discussion about the whole topic because of white supremacy. And you guys are just never happy. Maybe I should change. Maybe I should be my mission here. It should not be to get people to agree with me logically. Start thinking logically. Maybe my mission should be just to try to make liberals happy. Just once in their life. Just once. Because they don't seem to be happy. I would like to see them happy just collectively, just once. Openly happy. Hey, you can be openly gay, so why not openly happy? That's what the left needs, is to be openly happy. Because, they got to stop running around deleting emails. Well, they didn't do it on purpose. Well, obviously somebody did it on purpose. Because you just can't, press a delete button by accident. Accident. Before I have the liberal speech police on me. But... Well, folks, that is it for today, or for today's episode. We will be back here tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel, of course. So return and get your knowledge on, folks. I'm Rod Eccles. This has been the Rod Eccles Show. Have a great night, everybody. I'm out.